What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR bringing you a rather large episode of People's Questions episode, the big 150 episodes. That is just epic. Before I get into this rather large list of questions which come from you awesome people out there, I'd like to thank each and every single one of you that made this episode incredibly special. So to jump right into the first question, actually coming from a newbie, so welcome to the People's Questions fan page. And it comes from CanFX358, and you want to know, what is my proudest trophy / achievement that I've ever gotten? Undoubtedly, probably the proudest one that I felt was probably Call of Duty World at War. Now, World at War is undoubtedly my favorite Call of Duty ever made, and I'm telling you that that game on Veteran is a nightmare. I mean, it has... These newer games have nothing on that game's campaign on Veteran. I mean, that'll make you want to tear your hair out, and I actually did on a number of occasions. I mean, that game's campaign took months to beat, and I know what you're thinking. It's like, months? Well, why would it take you months? Because trust me, there is one particular level near the end, and there's this one section which I literally called Grenade Fucking Alley, where it is literally raining grenades, and I literally had to download the map and kind of plan out my moves, and this literally took like a week to do. And when I finally got through it and I was actually able to beat the last level, I got the Platinum Trophy. So Platinuming Call of Duty World at War is by far the proudest achievement / trophy I've ever gotten, because it was well worth it. The next three questions come from TwilCommand91, and you want to know, any thoughts on Hideo Kojima working on the next Silent Hill installment? I'm happy that Hideo Kojima is working on something else other than Metal Gear. I just kind of wish it wasn't Silent Hill. Like, I would love to see him do another Zone of Enders game or try his hand on another franchise. I've never actually been a fan of Silent Hill because you guys know how I feel about horror games. And legitimately, the only reason I'm even going to give this game a chance is because he is working on it. That is, like, legitimately the only reason. Next question is, can I grow facial and have just chosen not to? Yes, I can grow facial, and yeah, I have chosen not to because I think it makes me look younger. My brother likes to grow facial, and I've been trying to convince him to shave for God knows how long. I mean, trust me, if he did that, he would look at least 5 years younger. I mean, I'm actually older than he is, but if you actually get a chance to look at us side by side, you'll actually think he's a lot older than I am. So, yes, I can grow facial, I just like to shave every 2 days. Next question is, how do I feel that the gaming... What do I feel that gaming is missing, or games are missing in general, maybe genre-like variety? What do I think games are missing? I guess overall games have lost the challenge factor. I mean, going back, if you really go back to older games like 60-bit and 8-bit games, those games were challenging because you actually had to get better in order to beat them. But as games have kind of gradually become more cinematic and story-based, they're on a level that they're not very hard because these games are designed to be beaten. As opposed to something like Mario 3 or something like Metroid, where if you were able to beat this game, you had to get better and were extremely skilled and had very good reflexes. Games these days are just designed to be beaten. They're not really challenging. And I think that's... I mean, there's some games that do try to recapture that, but the main focus is just on cinematic storytelling and online multiplayer. There's no sense of self-challengement, and that's something I do feel a little bit sad about. The next two questions, or next big question comes from Phil Revan March, and you want to know, if Solid Snake and Sam Fisher ever had to work together on a mission, do I think that they would get along and get the mission done, or do I think at some point they would come to blows and fight it out? Well, if Sam Fisher and Solid Snake would ever fight, I think they'd be able to work together reasonably. I mean, I think Sam Fisher would find a couple of Solid Snake's tactics a little bit weird, like hiding under cardboard boxes. But no, I don't think they would ever fight. And if you're going to fight, do it after the mission. You never want to have a fight during a mission. That's just not professional. The next three questions come from Ace Arcadia, and you want to know, is there any anime that I would like to see become a game? Yes, there's one particular anime I'd love to see become a real game. I know that this already has a couple games, but I want to see a current-gen console game. And I would love to see Attack on Titan get its own game. I think that... I mean, if we have some games like Spider-Man that we certainly can have a game that allows us to use the 3D system to actually maneuver around trees. And I think that would actually be quite challenging, trying to take down Titans by getting around there and, you know, cutting their necks or disabling sometimes. So Attack on Titan, an actual current gen game. Next question is, what is the weirdest glitch in a game I've ever experienced? Weirdest glitch? You know, I don't really know. I don't really come across many glitches. I mean, I've had a couple games crash. I mean, I've played a couple games where, you know, it's like it's like a sandbox game, and for one reason or another, I jump at something at a certain point, and I end up falling through the level, or I mean, you know, that's regular. That's stuff that happens in a lot of games, so I can't really pick out an individual glitch. Next question is, do I prefer real-time or turn-based RPGs? This is by far my favorite question of this episode, by far. I actually can't really decide because I think that the difference between turn-based and real-time is with real-time, with my experience with it, is that it forces you to have to think on your feet, and that does provide a sense of challenge. But turn-based allows me to strategize, and I like that. I mean, I'm good at reacting fast, but I'm not really good at thinking fast. But in turn-based, I can actually take my time to strategize, and there's plenty of games that are turn-based that are really, really difficult. So it actually plays like a game of chess, and I like chess. So I really can't decide which one is better. I think that they are both very evenly matched when it comes to the types of RPGs I like. The next three questions come from a newbie going by the name of The Green Cider, and you want to know, do I watch any anime, and if so, do I have a favorite show? Yes, I watch anime. If I had to pick one, it would unquestionably be Dragon Ball Z. You guys know that's like my all-time favorite anime of all time, with a couple other ones being good seconds, third, and fourth. I actually did a whole video on that, so Green Cider, if you happen to see this video, if you want me to send you a link to that video, just comment down below, and I'll be sure to send you a link to your comment. Next question is, what is my favorite TV show of all time? I don't know. I don't really watch too much TV anymore. I spend my time watching YouTube videos or watching movies on Hulu or Netflix or Amazon Prime. But if I had to pick an individual TV show I would probably watch much, it's probably South Park. I mean, I watch that everywhere I go. I mean, the fact that I have, you know, Hulu Plus allows me to kind of watch it on my Galaxy phone, like anywhere I go. So I guess South Park would be the answer. And next question is, what is my favorite movie of all time? This is also another hard one, but if I really had to pick one, it would probably be Terminator 2 Judgment Day, simply because that's like the only movie in history that's ever been able to make me cry. And that's as an adult too, so that's a very special movie for me. The next three questions come from Kobe Time, and you want to know, am I a fan of Star Trek, and if so, what is my favorite series? Yeah, I'm a general fan of Star Trek. I would have to say my favorite is Next Generation. I think the original is a little bit too campy. Voyager, can't find a really good episode of that. Deep Space Nine's a bit boring, and I don't even know what the hell that one was called on the Sci-Fi Channel that got canceled after 1 or 2 seasons. I don't remember, but definitely the Next Generation is my Star Trek. I really would like to see them do an updated version of that one, just like they did with the original cast. Next question is, what game would be a deal breaker game to get an Xbox One or a Wii U? For an Xbox One, a deal breaker probably would be Rise of the Tomb Raider, although I'm not sure if that's ever going to come out to PlayStation 4. I'm not sure. I mean, they've said that it's a timed exclusive, but you know, we're not really sure. But Sunset Overdrive definitely looks interesting, and I will certainly be getting an Xbox to play that, because that looks like a very fun game. And in terms of Wii U, I don't know. I guess if they made like a really innovative Mario game, because I did happen to buy a Wii to play Mario Galaxy 2, and that was undoubtedly the best Mario game I played probably since Mario 64. And next question is, what is my favorite Dead Space game? Ooh, that's a tough one. Probably Dead Space 2. The reason being is all three of them have a lot of strengths over the others, but I think that out of all three of the mainstream Dead Space games, I think 2 was the most balanced because it had a lot of the better elements of 3 while kind of carrying a lot of the better essences of 1, but it was definitely much more story driven, and it allowed us to actually get to know the character of Isaac Clarke, which is something that the first game did not do. And I don't think the third game really focused on him as much because we had a partner that we had to kind of play along with. So I think 2 was definitely the better one of the 3 games. Next, 3 questions come from JDS4696, and he wants to know, do I think Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain will be released in May 2015? We don't know when this game's going to come out, but we know it's coming out this year, so I don't really care if it comes out in May, June, July, August. As long as it comes out this year, I don't really care. As long as there's a collector's edition for it as well, I will be getting it. Next question is, do I think the Star... Oh, wow, what a coincidence that this question pops up. Do I think the Star Trek Next Generation will ever get a reboot into film form? I don't know if it will, but as I said earlier, I would love for them to do a updated reboot form of Next Generation, because that is my favorite Star Trek telling. You know. Next question is, will I be playing HD Resident Evil Remake this month? No. No, 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 no. I cannot play that old gameplay format. It is garbage. That is the whole... You know, that's the thing. A lot of people like to shit all of these newer games' gameplay, but I will tell you, Resident Evil 6 had unquestionably the best controls I've ever played for a Resident Evil game, because I was actually able to run, I was actually able to shoot and move. The problem that I have with the old style of Resident Evil games is that those games had terrible controls on purpose. That was the whole point of those older games, was that you don't have control of your actions, therefore making it a much harder game. A lot of people, because those games are not scary. And anyone who thought those games were scary, I can't imagine what you saw in those games, but they were never scary to me. I mean, I barely got through 2. Really, it was torture getting through 3, and I don't even want to bother playing through 1, especially since I've seen fast playthroughs where someone's beating the game in an hour and a half. I mean, Jesus Christ, if you can beat a Resident Evil game in an hour and a half, that is just crazy. You can't even do that with these new games. At least 6 hours. So no, I will not be playing this new HD remastering of the original Resident Evil game. No. And the last set of questions come from Mr. Firefly 246, and he wants to know, do I think the Wii U is back in the console race? Well, after the really successful year that they've had in 2014, there is no doubt that the Wii U is coming back. However, I am not sure if it will end up coming out on top by the end of this console war cycle. Your next question is, what do I think of hack and slash games? They are very, very enjoyable as long as you have the right franchise, good enough story, enough game mechanics, enough combo sets like God of War, Devil May Cry. They are very, very fun games. Although some people like to call them a bit repetitive, you can say that about just about any game. But heck, I love hack and slash games. Next question is, what is the best video game ending? As much as, me personally, probably Metal Gear Solid 4, simply because it answered all the questions that had been asked over the course of the entire series, and I'm a little bit upset that with Metal Gear Solid 5, they might end up messing that up. But another game that I think had a really good ending was certainly the very first Bioshock. I really enjoyed the ending to that game. Next question is, what is the cheapest video game I've ever bought? Oh dear, that's an easy one. The cheapest video game I recall I've ever bought was undoubtedly Kane and Lynch Dog Days, which I happened to buy from GameFly for like $3. I don't even know why I paid that much for it. Next question is, what is my least favorite video game console? Least favorite? I don't know, probably the first Xbox. I didn't even bother playing that one. I played the Xbox 360 maybe twice in college just to kind of see what the competition was bringing. And I just recently got a chance to play the Xbox One for the first time at SkillCon, so I guess the original Xbox. Next question is, do I think I will ever become a PC gamer? No. I think it's a little bit too expensive to be a PC gamer. I don't know. I just don't like the concept of playing a game on a computer with a keyboard. I prefer a controller. I can't do a mouse and buttons. That's not me. I mean, I'm not sure I would be considered a PC gamer when I was younger, because I did play a lot of games on the PC, but I'm not sure if that really made me a PC gamer. And the last question of the episode is, do I think Sony will go bankrupt? No. Sony will be fine. I mean, everyone has difficult times in its company's history. You know, there are times where their stocks are a bit down or some information gets leaked, but as long as Sony has been around, there's no doubt in my mind Sony will be fine and it'll bounce back from this really massive disaster that they've had with their company. And with that, those are all the questions that you guys sent in for this particular episode. I would like to thank each and every single one of you for making episode 150 very, very special and very extensive. And if you like this video, feel free to like, comment down below with your questions, and make sure you get them into me before next Wednesday, before I start filming episode 151. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you next time.